So I just recently passed my NASM certification. So this is a personal training certification. It's a very highly accredited organization that you could go through. I see a lot of videos on YouTube about people giving advice about the exams and things like that, and I thought I'd give in my 2 cents. So just to set the base, I took the test in about 6 weeks. So I did a good amount of studying. It's probably not the most efficient way to go about it, especially for people that are newcomers. But I took the test in 6 weeks. Um, so I dedicated a good amount of time. I also worked full time. I was on summer break from school, so I had a little bit of free time on my hands after work. So I thought, might as well get a little certification out of the way. So, what I want to introduce to you guys is just some techniques that I use in order to prepare myself to get ready to take the NASM exam. I want to inform you guys that the exam is not very difficult if you prepare yourself appropriately and accordingly to the text, and they set out certain guidelines that you could follow. It's very easy. It's kind of they break it down for you, and they do a lot for you to pass. It's not set up for you to fail. So I want you to guys to be comfortable in knowing that you can do this. It's very possible. I did it in 6 weeks. They give you 6 months in order to take the test. So I think 6 months is more than enough. I'm not the smartest man in the world, so I know you guys could do it. But in preparation for this test, what I did is the first thing I did was set the date for the test. A lot of people that if they don't have a certain goal or a goal date, like a deadline, they'll procrastinate and chances are they're not going to end up taking the test. So my advice to you is first off, after you make the purchase, is go ahead and just schedule your test. You can schedule it just a few months in advance. I wanted to get it done before school started back up. That's why I condensed it down to about a 6 week period. But let me go ahead and break down what I did to study, some techniques I used as well. So first and foremost, I read this entire book. It's pretty dense in information. So what made it a little more easier for myself is that I outlined the entire book. And I'm going to put in the description a link to the outline that I made. And hopefully you can use it as a good study guide in preparation for this test. It's about 70 or so pages. It's pretty long, but it coincides pretty well with the textbook. It's not as dense or as a particular as the textbook is, but I feel like it could help you guys out a lot, man. It's I put a little bit of work into it, but I really want to help you guys out, man, and kind of alleviate as much stress as possible. Because myself, I was stressing a little bit. I thought the test was going to be a lot more than what it was. So yeah, first and foremost, read the book, outline the entire thing. Now I know there are a few different tiers of purchases that you can make on once you buy the certification packages. So the first one is I know you can just buy the textbook itself. That's like $600 some odd dollars. The next one is what I did, the self study, which is the online portion, and as well as the textbook. So what that includes is like so you get, trying to remember, you get a practice exam, which is crucial, I feel, for passing this test. I'll go into detail on that later. But the practice exam, online courses, which is very helpful, the textbook, and just outlines and things like that to kind of make the process a little more simpler. The next step is what I wish I could have been able to do if I had the money in order to do it, but it's about $1,000 or something like that. So that includes like workshops, more practice exams, on-hand training, textbook, online courses, all that good jazz. So it's very helpful. It gets you a lot of real-world situations, scenarios, and things like that in order to put your certification to the next step. So I'd take advantage of whatever you could get. So, and also on top, so read the textbook, outlined the entire thing. Next step that I did, I took the practice exam. So the practice exam kind of gave me a good guideline of seeing where I was at, what I struggled with, and what I was kind of more efficient with. I also gave me an opportunity to go back into the textbook, make a lot of notes of things that I had trouble with, and helped me set me up for success. So the practice exam, I made a practice exam myself too. It's about 47 or so questions. I'm gonna put that in description as well to help you guys out, just in case you did just to buy the textbook. You got the practice exam right there for you guys, so it'll give you a little more insight in what you can expect on the test. So very important. Gave me a basis of where I could go back and kind of review certain information that I was struggling with. Might have just gazed over my first read. So I reread certain chapters in the book after I took the practice exam. After that, what I did was I got a lot of third-party sources of information. So that includes personal trainers that I talked to. It includes podcasts that I listen to. One that I'd recommend for you guys is, since you're into the fitness industry now after the purchase of the NASM, it's called the Council of Human Movement, or Human Science, or I believe it's Council of Human Function or Human Movement, one or the other. Very helpful. They break it down, certain imbalances, common injuries, ailments, and things like that. Each episode, they bring accredited individuals onto the show. They go from neurobiologists all the way to massage therapists, postural doctors, and things like that. So it's pretty in-depth in information, but I found it really helpful. It goes more in depth than actual textbook, but it's good to have a general basis of information, kind of consume at any chance you get. So I just turn it on in my car and let it go. Another one that I found was really helpful was just YouTube videos, man. Just this right here that I'm doing to help you guys out, man. I found that was really helpful. Okay, so after third-party sourcing, I'll go ahead and did the whole online courses from chapter 1 all the way up to chapter 20. So I was able to physically write down outlines of the online courses, which was pretty helpful, kind of helped me retain certain information. Then at the end of the online courses, I go ahead and took the practice exam one more time, see where I was at. And the first time I took the exam, I got about 72%, which is passing, but it's not passing by much, so I wasn't very comfortable in that. But the second time I took the test, I got about an 85 or so. So the second time around was much smoother. I got a different set of questions on my next practice exam, but a lot of them were similar. They might have just been in different orders and stuff like that. But practice exam super helpful. Okay, so after I did all my study and all that good stuff. Oh, one more thing. I nailed down page 196. 196 is pretty important. I saw that pop up on the test a lot. If you guys are just getting into the book and stuff, I'll go ahead and just show you guys. This is page 196 right here. It's just a general graph of certain muscle imbalances and corrective exercise and strategies and things like that. Certain muscles that are overactive and underactive, and common assessments. Super important on going to the test. So that tangent aside, let me go ahead and get to the information that I recognized I was on the test that kind of stood out in my mind. So I wrote down a few little notes right here. Don't mind me, I'm reading. So hopefully this will help you out. Okay, so let's see. So some questions on the test. Just know general information on chronic diseases. Basically, if they have in the questions or answers, if they say refer to a medical professional or something like that, chances are that's going to be the answer. If it makes sense, you're not going to be a doctor, so don't try to do doctor's work or prescribe some things or something like that. So that's one thing, just kind of common sense. No proper progressions and acute variables, which was really important. I didn't get much, honestly, on the heart. I got some questions on like blood pressure, systolic and systolic, knowing the differentiating between the two. Where I got it, systolic means strength of the heart, so the ability to push out the blood. So that kind of made it simple, just kind of relating certain words to different words, make it more Barney walking. You know what I mean? Then I didn't get anything on bones. I might have got something on like what are like levers, like just one question maybe, but I did get a lot of question on like just heart rate ranges and things like that. Not a lot, maybe like five or so, but that's good. The majority. Um, I got a little. Actually, I got a few questions on energy and muscular systems. So it's important to kind of understand what like ATP, PC systems are, what are your glycolysis and oxidative energy processes and things like that. So that was pretty. That popped up a few times on my test. I know the tests differ, but it's just something you should be aware of. Um, Chapter 5 was pretty important for me. It popped up on my test a lot. So this includes things like range of motion, anatomic locations, motor behavior, proprioception, sensory motor integration, force couple, length tension relationships, and something else that popped up as well was fitness assessments. Fitness assessments, man, is going to what we doing every day as a personal trainer. So this is going to bring it home. This is going to be your bread and butter. So if there's anything on this in this book that you should review multiple times, it's going to be the fitness assessments. That's going to be a large girth of the book. So it's pretty. If they emphasize it a lot and they kind of beat that dead horse over and over again, best believe it's going to be on the test, man. So fitness assessments is going to be something that is crucial to your success. So that's everything from Part Q, overhead squat assessments, heart rate, objective and subjective questions, body composition, common postural distortions, etc. Um, Flexibility, cardiorespiratory, balance, core, resistance, that type of training. I didn't get much on plyometric or speed, agility, and quickness, but the other areas, like I said, cardiorespiratory, balance, and core and resistance, I got a few questions on that, and also knowing just basic exercises that coincide with these types of training. That made it a lot simpler because they will describe certain exercises and tell you or ask you what area does this fall under. Also, another thing that's really important is know the OPT model, man. That's what this entire book is based on, is the OPT model. This book is a lot on what's the word, is injury prevention. So injury prevention and corrective exercises is one thing that this thing really emphasizes, in being able to put your client into the proper progression in order to prevent injury, in order to allow their body to adapt at a certain rate. But that OPT model, man, just know the phases, know the stages, know what exercises go into stages and things like that, like stability, strength endurance, hypertrophy. What was the so I can't that's me. I forgot. It will be maximal strength, and then it'll be power. So you get that. It's gonna be your bread and butter for this test. Nutrition and supplementation. I was kind of bummed out that they didn't have much on the test. So as far as nutritional information goes, just know your macro information. Don't disregard the rest of the information in the book. Just understand that it's a possibility that anything in this book might pop up on your test, but this is what I experienced. Surprisingly, this is something that I let go over my head personally, because I didn't think it was going to be on the test at all, was chapters 19 and chapters 20. So this is going to be developing a successful personal training business and lifestyle modification coaching. I read this half-assed, kind of just gazed through it. Second time around too, I didn't even take notes on it. So that's my bad. But a lot of the questions are common sense. But it did pop up quite a bit for me, and I felt like I wasn't prepared enough for that portion. But overall, I passed the test. I felt like I was overly prepared, minus chapters 19 and 20. That kind of bit me in the ass. That's on me. So it's all good. I learned from it. I reread it, kind of learned from. I took the opportunity to learn from it, you know. But yeah, I just want you guys to understand that this test ain't that hard. It ain't that hard. I just want to tell you guys one more time. It ain't that hard. You guys have the ability to do it. Just got to have the discipline and understand that in order to achieve this certification, you do have to put time time into it. So that might mean sacrificing a few days of hanging out. I feel like the end result is much worth the studious time that you put into it. So you do definitely get in or get out what you put in, and that goes with everything else, man. So you want to be as prepared as possible. Just be ready for any situation that the test might give to you. So just know the information, man, and then just know certain key terms. Use context clues while you're taking the test. I felt that helped me as well because it's impossible to know every word in this book, but just understand that certain words will give you clues. Also, a lot of questions, man, you could X 2 or 3 of them out right off the bat because some of them won't make sense if you do know the dialogue and the terminology and the lexicon that they use within this textbook. So hopefully this helped you guys out, man. As again, I'm gonna go ahead and put my outlines down in the description. Also, that practice test as well. Hope this really helped you out, man, and you stayed around for this whole 16, 17 minutes. I appreciate you guys taking time out your day. Appreciate you, man. Have a great day.